Sacramento as well. Mostly peaceful. The state capitol, way more peaceful than what we saw in our nation's capital, that's for sure.
And CBS 13's Heather Jansen joins us live from the Capitol now with more on what she saw there today. Heather.
Now, what we just learned from Sacramento police, 11 people were arrested today for illegally having pepper spray. As for what we saw, a lot of screaming and yelling between both parties that were out here, protesters and counter protesters. But of course, people weren't just supporting Donald Trump out here. They were also rallying against Gavin Newsom. Trump supporters and his opponents squaring off outside the state capitol, tension building between parties.
I'm 20 years old and I grew up not seeing Democrats and Republicans at each other's throats like they are now.
Hundreds like Rachel turning out to rally their support for President Donald Trump and protest President-elect Joe Biden. The rally coming on the heels of a Democratic victory in Georgia, with Republicans fearing the worst from national Democratic control. But Washington isn't their only worry.
I think conservatives are being taught a really, really harsh lesson right now.
That lesson, Rachel says, the power of organizing. A tent to recall Gavin Newsom present at the rally with a months-long effort, now picking up more momentum.
And if the people of California want him gone, he should get the hell out of Capitol building.
Petitions hitting a milestone with more than 1 million signatures, 2/3 of the way to their goal. And with the way Washington politics are playing out, CBS 13 political analyst Gary Dietrich says the recall looms large.
And let's face it, that would be the only political game in town. By that I mean nationally, that could garner resources, supporters, and be a de facto, referendum on which party is going to have the advantage going into the midterms next year.
But there are still many against the idea. One of the only counter-protesters, David Berger, worries the wish could come true.
It's of course not something I support, but I mean, if they get enough votes, it can happen.
And with that momentum gaining steam, especially with everything going on in Washington, petitioners still need to gather 1.5 million signatures by March.